This is the suspicious package that was sent to CNN in New York City, and it is suspicious. John Brennan's name is misspelled. Debbie Wasserman Schultz's name is misspelled. The word Florida is misspelled. You've got 6 stamps on this envelope, but it was never postmarked. Okay, they're saying maybe it arrived by courier. CNN's now saying it arrived by courier. That's, by the way, an explanation that they came out with after we reported on how there was no postmark on this envelope. And by the way, the FBI, and this is breaking news, the FBI has released some photographic evidence from the investigation, and it turns out that as of last night, all of the envelopes that have been received so far look pretty much exactly the same. No postmark. These 6 stamps with the American flag. John Brennan, his name is misspelled. There are other misspellings in some of these envelopes. These things obviously were never delivered. They were never sent through the post office. And yet, the post offices in this country are now on high alert. Presumably flagging, so-called right-wing mail during absentee voting season. So as people are mailing in their ballots, now all of a sudden Republicans are going to come under increased scrutiny at these post offices because George Soros and CNN claim that there's some kind of madman out there mailing in fake bombs to them. And none of these bombs have gone off, of course. The white powder that was supposedly in it was harmless. The NYPD is allowing this because Hillary Clinton gave a speech, and Bill de Blasio gave a speech, and Andrew Cuomo gave a speech. And so the NYPD is allowing this farce, and the FBI is allowing this farce. Luckily, the Department of Homeland Security is involved in the investigation, and the Secret Service is involved in this investigation. So President Donald Trump's federal government is aware of what's going on. I would assume, and I've heard from many people that there are investigators in this case who are astonished and appalled at the level of manipulation that Democrats are going to, including using our law enforcement. And let's not forget that General Michael Flynn was prosecuted for supposedly lying to the FBI after Peter Strzok set him up in his office in the White House. As soon as Trump got into office, lying to the FBI was the charge against Strzok, against Flynn, that was levied by Peter Strzok. Well, the FBI investigation is ongoing in this case, and these people have already made statements. Andrew Cuomo has already made a false statement. Andrew Cuomo, at his press conference, said that his office received an explosive device. Turns out that wasn't the case. The Cuomo spokesman actually botched the narrative because he came out and said, oh no, it's not true that Andrew Cuomo got an explosive device or a suspicious package. And then Cuomo comes out at the press conference with de Blasio and says, my office has received one. And then, you know what the spokesman actually claimed? This is a matter of record. He goes, well, the first one was wrong. It was false. But then there was a second one that was found. And then we called Andrew Cuomo about it, and he announced it live on air at the press conference. So there were 2 suspicious packages. Turns out there were none. Andrew Cuomo was lying. It was a lie. While an active FBI investigation was going on, the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, lied. These are the psychological terror tactics of George Soros, folks. This is what we've been talking about for a long time. This is what we're talking about in the case of Peter Strzok, who set up President Donald Trump during the campaign. They know how to set people up. They use the FISA courts. This is what we're talking about in the case of Brett Kavanaugh, a completely unfounded allegation that nonetheless sparked an FBI investigation. That was defeated as well. Now we have this, and this goes to a whole new level. And you know why this goes to a whole new level? Because on The View, Whoopi Goldberg did a whole big segment. The ladies of The View did a whole big segment pretending that there is some kind of right-wing madman out there mailing fake bombs to these Democrats. And for the people who are not reading the Drudge Report and watching Fox News and reading Big League Politics, by the way, and on Twitter and on 4chan, to the average person watching The View, they think that there's a right-wing Unabomber out there. There are people who will drive home from work today in rush hour in their commute thinking, believing that there is a madman mailing bombs to people on the loose in this country. That is how George Soros has destabilized the psyche of America. We're not human experiments. We're not psychological test cases for these people. We are American citizens. We're free people. And we're not going to be lied to anymore. Just because they control what content goes up on CNN doesn't mean that we have to believe it. This is a shame. This is a travesty of justice. This is a disgrace. This is the Democratic Party. And that's all that really needs to be said about this. Are they actually going to find a suspect for this farce? Are they going to go pull some kid somewhere, some conservative, or some old white guy, or some old black guy, or some old Puerto Rican guy? Who knows? What a shameful disgrace it would be if they actually named a suspect in the media in this farce case. This is the Democratic Party. And these are the desperate actions of a party that knows that it's well past its prime. Its prime was John F. Kennedy. And since John F. Kennedy, the Democratic Party has really ceased to be a viable political party. It's a very well-funded organization that agitates against the American people. And what they have done in this case is horrifying. And if Hillary Clinton actually runs for president in 2020, remember that the first speech she gave in her campaign was about this lie. We'll be back later.